Okay, students, so today we're going to talk about setting up for uh, flux core gas metal arc welding GMAW. Okay, and again, this is our power source, and this is our wire feed here. Okay, and so the first thing we're going to do is I like to start at the back and kind of work my way forward instead of jumping from one place to the other. It's everything that I do in pre-trips and checking vehicles, working everything. So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to go ahead and put my wire on, and I have my spool of wire right here. Okay, and so if you're vertically challenged or if you have trouble lifting a spool of wire up, we have ladders. You can climb up here. We're going to remove the stop off of here, and you will notice that there's a notch right here on the spool back here. There's also a little stub. This notch goes right on that. These Lincolns are designed to run, and the Millers are designed to run so that the wire comes off of the bottom of the spool. So you want to look and make sure that the wire is running off of the bottom of the spool whenever you put the spool on. Okay, so I see the wire coming off the bottom of the spool here. That's the way I'm going to set it on there, and then also match up my post. Okay, and then turn it around and set my keeper back on so that it doesn't come sliding off. Next thing, I'm going to take my wire cutters. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my gun, take my MIG gun. I'm going to remove the nozzle and make sure there's no contact tip on there. Remove the nozzle and the contact tip. I'm going to set that out of the way. And for right now, we can just loop the gun right here. That's fine. Okay. Then we're going to open this up. We're going to release this tension holder, and we're going to remove the rollers, and we're going to take our wire and pull it off of here. And then we're going to take all of this bent wire right here because it doesn't feed very well. And be careful that we hold it back here behind where we're cutting and just cut that out of the way. We want to keep tension on our spool. We're going to feed it through here and feed it through here. And then we're going to make sure that it comes through and feeds into the gun. Okay. Now, you can do this next step either before you start to unspool, or you can do it now. It really doesn't matter. But the size of the wire that we're using is a 0.035. And so you're going to take your rollers, and on your rollers, there are two measurements. There's a 0.45 and there's a 0.35. You want the measurement of the size wire that we are using facing you. So we are using a 0.035 wire. That's the size that you want facing out. So when I put this on the roller, 0.035 is going to be facing out towards me. Okay, so I'm going to put that here and tighten it back up. Now these Lincolns have got a guide right here that's got two thumb screws on it, so you're going to have to take those off to get to this bottom roller. And then you do the same thing. Slide it off, flip it over so that the 0.035 is facing you. Slide it back on. Again, turn the little keepers right there and cinch it back down. And you may want to climb up here and make sure you're not pinching the wire, which I don't think you will. Set your roller down. Now, on the Lincolns, you've got an set screw right here that will adjust the tension on this roller. And right here is a guide that tells you if you're using GMAW, FCAW, or aluminum. We are doing GMAW, gas metal arc welding, so we want it adjusted somewhere around the 4 or 5. So I'm going to adjust it down to about the 4 or 5. All right. Now, because I don't want to sit here and wait all day for the wire to get through, I'm going to go ahead and take my wire feed speed and turn it up all the way. Now I'm going to take my gun, engage the trigger, and watch my spool as it kicks off pieces and chunks of plastic. Make sure that everything is feeding correctly and just kind of watch. Make sure that it's turning the way that it should. Nothing's coming off. Make sure everything's working right. Rollers are turning properly. And just kind of watch everything. And you'll feel the wire as it starts to come through. And then there it is. There's my wire. Now that I'm sure that everything is done here, I'm going to go ahead and shut this. And I know that for this weldment, my wire feed needs to be at about 250. So I'm going to go ahead and set that back down to 250. Next thing I'm going to do to get my contact tip and make sure that I have a 0.035 contact tip. And that is stamped on the bottom. And it's kind of hard to see with the light and everything, but you'll see it once we get inside the welding booth right there. You can see that you can't really see it. No, you can't. But it's stamped right on the bottom there. Focus. It's focusing on me, not on that. Anyways. And you'll slide the 0.35. Make sure you have the 0.35, not the 0.45. The 0.045 will fit, but you will not get a good arc. And then you're going to put your gas diffuser, your gas nozzle on there, thread it on handy. Okay, just handy, that's all it needs to be. Then you're going to take your MIG wires. This is important. You'll notice there's a concave side and a flat side. If you take the concave side and put it up against the nozzle and cut it, you will have the proper amount of stick out on your wire. Then we can put our gun back here. Are we through yet? No, we're not through yet. We're going to make sure that we have our remote cable hooked up properly. That's all part of our inspection. And then we're also going to make, when we notice that we have nothing hooked up, or we may still have our electrode holder hooked up for SMAW. You don't know how many times I have students come in here and they get everything done, and then they try to strike an arc with this, and oh, Mr. Clark, it won't weld. Something's wrong with your machine. No, you still haven't hooked up your electrode holder. Okay? So what we need to do now is on the side of your machine, there is a cable that is coming down from your wire feed that has a lug that looks like this. You're going to take that, plug it into the positive side, because we're running direct current electrode positive, and plug it in. Make sure that it's the one that feeds up to the unit, and then everything should be set ready to go. Again, making sure that we're on wire, not on dual shield, because we're not running a dual shield. We're just running CV wire. That's for the Lincolns. On the Millers, it just says, I believe it just says MIG. Okay, so that's how you set up for the wire process. Okay, any questions? I'll explain it later. I'll see you in the booth. This is Clark. I'm out.